I am trying to get in here and make sure that we're actually live, but I think we should be live. Let me say it right off the bat. This particular episode is brought to you in conjunction with the EA Creator Network. This is a free copy of early access for rent, the upcoming expansion pack. This is also an alpha copy. That means that this copy was supplied to a bunch of creators while the game is still under development. They continue working on new releases right up until release day, essentially. So the whole time I've had this pack so far, yes, they are still working on it. So there are things in this pack that might change by the time it hits retail shelves, so to speak, right? By the time it releases on December the 7th, there are some things that might change. Mostly, we're going to say that simply because, if we hit any sort of bugs or anything of that sort, a lot of times those are handled and taken care of before the pack actually does reach the market. Sometimes they're not. I mean, if they're a really big problem, I guess, obviously they're not, right? But hopefully they will be. And yes, we do. If we encounter something, let the team know that, yes, we've come across something that's a little bit of a bug. Now, in my case, I'll tell you, right off the bat, I had some problems. I did, but I ran a repair game and it fixed almost everything. So I think I had some issues maybe with my initial installation, because once I did run repair game, it did fix everything that I was having a problem with the exception of one particular thing. But we'll see if you even notice that. It's relatively small, and we'll see if anybody notices it while we are playing here. Now, what we're going to do today, I've already been playing this for a while. I've got this particular lot here, this one here. This is my gameplay lot for this alpha copy, right? And my landlord here started with just her $20,000, her normal Sim starting money. And she decided to start building an apartment complex, and she's built on, whenever she gets rent, right? When she gets rent, she starts building onto it. So that's a whole gameplay thing that's coming in the form of video. For the live stream, I built this particular building over here. This is a newer condo development, obviously. And we're going to go in there. We're going to set up some of those units as apartments, because right now it's just one single structure. And then we're going to move our Sim over here, the guy I was just on, Brian Robbins, my cringy Sim. We're going to move him over there, and then we'll go through some gameplay and stuff like that. We got another family we're going to move to, this one here. Yeah, this one here. This is a family that came with the pack, and this particular person here was like grandma. She was like the grandmother, and I really needed a kid, so I just turned grandma into a kid. But, she made a fun little kid. So I'm going to move them into the condo too. First, though, all right, let's get started. We'll go over here and we'll jump into our two landlords, the people that own this particular building, have them set up some rentals, and then we'll grab Brian and have him come over here and pick one out. Actually, I already have his picked out. It's this one. So Brian's unit is going to be this upstairs unit here. It is a one-bedroom unit. It is, because it's a one-bedroom, it would be perceived really as the largest unit. All the units are the same size in this building, but you have both one-bedroom and then two-bedroom units. Now, okay, let me get a drink of water here. I've been a little under the weather this week, just a little bit. I mean, not really. I've been trying to fight it off, So I have that sort of general sort of malaise and sort of general feeling of, I'm a little tired type of feeling, right? I'm doing pretty well today, but I think my voice is still carrying it. Now, in order to make this a rental unit, as you can see right now, it's just a residential unit like any single family home. Even though we do have it broken into 3 apartments and then a sort of small lobby area and a small gym area and a small pool area. This is just a 20 by 15 lot. As you probably know by this point, the world is a little small and the lots are also a little small, but I think I did an okay job, with this as an apartment building and a sort of more modern condo tower. I wanted to go modern because, let me see here, where are we now? Residential rental. Here we go. I wanted to go with a modern condo because I figured everybody would be doing traditional. The PAC has a lot of traditional assets, and the feel of it in a lot of ways is very sort of retro, like more like antique retro, like 100 years ago, right? It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Merchant Ivory type film. So I figured a lot of people would be doing very traditional builds. So I thought, hey, let's do something a little more modern, a little more in keeping with sort of a modern Thai style. Let's set up our apartment. Once we have this changed to a residential rental building, simply select that button there, right? That's where we're going to be able to take individual rooms and assign them to a specific apartment number. So in this case, let me get up here. We go. Turn on the grid. That might keep us a little more steady. We're going to click on this room, right? So you can see it outlined there. Now, right now, every single bit of space in this building belongs to unit number 1. That's the owner's unit. But we're going to create a unit, which will be unit number 2. Now, you can change that. You can change the color of the unit if you want, and you can change this entire group of words here, right? You can change all of that. I can change it to just number 2, or I can give it its own name, and then, color-wise, you've got this selection of colors. Go in, maybe pick blue, right? Let's pick really bright blue for it. And we have set this group of rooms right here, or this space, for number 2. We're also going to give this balcony to unit number 2. This particular bathroom obviously goes to 2. The closet goes to number 2. And the bedroom is going to go to number 2, right? So we have our particular rental unit all lined out here. Now, I'm always double checking some of these. Yes. Okay. So I double check, make sure it is under number 2. That does belong to our apartment. You want to take all these sort of spaces. Right now, like I said, everything in the building starts off belonging to unit number 1. This is a stairwell, so it needs to be part of shared space, right? It needs to be accessible to all the Sims. It wouldn't have to be if you wanted to build a building where each apartment had its own stairwell, or if we ever get elevators and you wanted to build a building where each apartment had its own elevator, then you could designate that area just for your apartment and only your Sim would use it. In this case, we have just one stairwell, so we're going to designate all the stairwells on all the floors as a shared space. And while we're down here, we'll go ahead and set the lobby here as shared. Excuse me, it is in fact. And then we'll set this area as shared space. We're going to set all of this area, of course, out by the pool as shared space. This little area with the shrine as shared space. Which, if you want to do kind of a Thailand apartment, I don't know about all of Southeast Asia, but I have done a lot of, basic research into how Thailand does their sort of building. Definitely put a shrine there. I saw a lot of apartment buildings and condo developments that did have shrines like this there for residents to use to go out and kind of do their devotions. So it's very much in keeping with that sort of style. And let's see here, we'll also set that to shared space so people can go in and out that door easily. And that should do it. I think that's all of our shared space taken care of. And we've got our first apartment. Now here on this level, we're going to make this the owner's apartment, so we'll leave it alone. All of it already is set for unit number 1. And on this level, we're going to set this for our family. We're going to make it our family apartment. We'll go in here. Mark that room. Create a unit number 3 out of it. And since we'll just follow the same convention here and go ahead and just erase all this, right? And we'll just leave it as 3 and we'll leave the color alone. We'll make that 3. We'll make this bathroom, of course, goes to unit 3. Master bedroom goes to unit 3. This bathroom goes to unit 3. And the kids' room goes to unit 3. Oh, and the balcony. Got to put the balcony into unit 3 as well. I actually really like this apartment. Like I said, there's a lot of small lots in this world, and I do really like large lots as a builder. But this apartment being on 20 by 15, I had to keep it pretty small, and it is probably more in keeping with an apartment in an urban area in Southeast Asia. A lot of apartments that I looked at in Thailand for research, they were pretty little like this, so that at least I feel like is in keeping with sort of the style that you want to go for, but it is just that easy. So we have all of our apartments now set here in this building, and they're ready to rent. Now, what we need to do though is go in, set the amount and the rules for each apartment, right? So we have, oh wow, they're 4-star apartments. That's really, that's pretty nice. So they're 4-star apartments, and apartment number 2 will be where Brian lives on the top floor. Apartment number 3 will be where our family lives on the bottom floor. It's actually, when it says 3 beds, it's actually literally counting the number of beds, not the number of bedrooms. It does not know the number of bedrooms because we don't designate rooms within these builds as a specific room. So if you put 10 beds in one big empty room, it'll read it as 10 bedrooms, right? Or 10 beds. We're going to look at our page here of tenant agreement, right? So the rent per day currently is $126 per day. Max rent that we can charge is $252, or try charging, that you can try charging. The lease length is 7 days, has kind of why we have this great, unit rating. And then we have some rules here. Now, here's the deal. If you put no ghost, right, and the fine's $1,000, and someone in the apartment dies, and they become a ghost, right, then you get $1,000, right? Same thing with all these rules. So like I did put in maximum occupancy and no loud noises. And I think, let me see what this rule says here. So you can only have 3 Sims in the apartment. And if you have more than that, like 4 or more, then you violate that rule. And there's no way of adjusting that rule, which is one thing I kind of don't like. I would like to be able to set what the maximum occupancy is myself, right? But you can't. So I do set it sometimes, and especially if it looks like it's a pregnant sim, right? Then you set the maximum occupancy. You pray for twins, because then you get $1,000. It's kind of like the lottery. So a lot of times I'll set that. No ghost, no loud noises. We're going to set those for actually the apartment with the family in it. We'll set all of those for that other apartment. This is the apartment that Brian's going to be in, so I'm going to leave it pretty easy going. You can set your lease length from anywhere from 1 day to 999 days. Here's the thing. If you want to change the apartment, you either have to evict. Well, no, you have to you either have to evict the tenant as a landlord and then do it, or you have to go in as a tenant and make the changes as the tenant, but then it costs the tenant their money to do that, right? That's the only way you can change the apartment. When you evict a tenant, if their lease is up, you have a grace period where you can freely evict them and then change their apartment and then re-rent it. If you want to change their apartment before the lease is up and you evict them, it's going to come across as an unjust eviction, right? And what can happen is your rating can go down, and you can also get fined by the city and stuff like that. So keep in mind with your lease length. I mean, if you're going to put 1,000 days on there, or 999 days, that's a really long time to be stuck with those tenants and be forced to unjustly evict them, if you want to do that for some reason. Now you can always go in and just use their money to fix up the apartment, I guess. And you do have to be careful of that as a tenant living in the apartment. We may come across that, but there's a rule. If you start fixing up your apartment, it can make the rating go up. And so if you have an NPC landlord, they might arbitrarily raise your rent, right? Which I think is a little silly because it's even things like a computer. Like if you buy a computer, that could make it go up. And I think that shouldn't impact that, right? Because if you buy a computer where you live and you're a renter, your landlord's going to be like, oh, you got a new computer. Well, I'm going to raise your rent. I mean, they might, if they're assholes, they might, because they might think you have a lot of money. But anyway, that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so we've got a tenant agreement set up. And then if we wanted to rent this ourselves and not wait for Brian to come along, we could hit fill vacancy. We can change anything we want to change. We go over to this page, and then we can pick people here who are maybe willing. They have to be willing to pay the rent. So if they're not willing to pay the rent, you could go back and change the rent, right? You can make it less if you wanted to rent to them. You can rent to them even with less beds in the unit than they would like, but you'll probably get more complaints from them. And that's about it. You just choose someone you think you'll like and go for it. Go with it. So we're going to have Brian move in here, though, so she does not have to rent that place herself. We'll go ahead and jump over to that other place where he's been living as I've been kind of testing all this stuff out. And as I have been, like I said, doing gameplay that's recorded and coming soon as we build an apartment complex from scratch, just starting with our $20,000 starting funds. That poor woman, that poor landlord, she has gone through hell and back trying to build this place out. You can see it's tough. It's taking us a little while to, we don't quite have paint on the walls yet or flooring or a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to say that's why Brian's going to move. He is going to get he's going to get hit here though. See, to move, if we break the lease, he's going to have to pay $500. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I want to move him to that other building. But yeah, we're going to have to take a hit for breaking our lease. Oh shit, and I didn't gather up his stuff either. Oh, well, that's okay. So we're going to move over here. He's going to have this brand new apartment. It's got plenty of nice stuff in it anyway. Let's go up here. We're going to grab this unit. It is $120. Oh, here's the problem, though. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so it's $126 per day, but you got to pay for the furnishings, right? Just like in San Myshuno with apartments. And basically, these apartments act just like San Myshuno apartments. So we'll have to cancel that. And then we're just going to have to cheat Brian some money, right? We're going to have to cheat Brian some money because he is moving. That's all there is to it. Let's turn on these cheats real quick. And we'll give him like 50,000. And then we're going to go ahead and move. Now, Brian here is my cringy sim. That does not mean anything. Let me tell you something. I mean, it does. It does. They have little quirks and all with that trait. It's a super cool trait. I personally love it. And I don't consider it a cringy at all. I consider it just no fucks left to give. But, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care what you think about him, He likes to do him. He's got his own way of living. He's got his own stuff he likes to do. So far, he's like my favorite character with this new pack. I know I made him, but he's my favorite character with the new pack that I'm playing with because he's always happy. Seems like he's always in a good mood. He's always having a good time. He always looks like he's having a good time. Now, he broke his lease, so it cost us $500, and we ended up with way too much money. I'm going to go in here real quick and adjust that back down to what he did have, like around 14,000. Whoops. He's a writer. Brian is. I've already had him writing some books. Literary genius, Brian is. Let's see here. We can have him. Now, one thing you can do, too, is you can go up here and you can kind of change the vacancy visual. See? So it's like, no vacancy. Sorry. We are all rented out. We're all leased up. We're going to have Brian go up here and check out his place, and then I'll run over and grab our family. She needs to go. You got to go. We'll go up here and see what she's doing in our apartment. She is the landlord. I'm going to give her that. She is the landlord. I think it's a little bit of a glitch because I just left her there. But she's going to have to go. Is she leaving on her own? She is leaving on her own. Well, there you go. Okay. Bye. That's good. It works. Here comes Brian. He's going to head on upstairs. Let's speed him up a little bit. Off they go. Now, I do wish, like, you can't believe how much I wish that we'd gotten some elevators with this, right? Because, stairs and walk-ups and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I do like it. Brian's going to go through here and go to the kitchen. Now, let me just say, he took the long way around. He can go through here. I have play tested this. I guess this is technically the easier routing because you don't have to squeeze past the chair. But I did test it where I locked the door. And yes, he will, go through there. And in fact, I think I'll lock this door permanently. Because then he won't go outside to get to his kitchen, He's going to have something to eat there. While he's eating, we're going to go get our family also back on the other side of town. And we'll move them over. I really want to play with the family for a little bit. We've got a little bit of new toddler stuff. We've got some new kids stuff. Here they are. Let's go play zone here. This family, the person I'm using as a kid, this young lady right here, relaxing on her mom's bed. She was grandma. She was the grandmother. I guess technically she might still be the grandmother. I haven't checked. She was the grandmother. She was the mom of this lady, but I really needed a kid, so I just put in some cheats and went in and changed her to a child and thought, let's just see how that works, right? I think it'll be fine. That shouldn't be any big deal. Let's see. Move the household. Here we go. I hope I don't need... I might need to cheat them some money too. Maybe I should just do that real quick before she gets going here. Let's cheat him like $50,000. There we go. What is she up to? Where is she? Oh, she's at work. Okay, let's have Dad move us then. She's going to surprise us. Surprise, honey, while you're at work, I moved us to a brand new condominium. I sold that old house. Who wants to live on the beach? Yeah, sure, there's a beautiful beach over... Well, you missed it. There's a beautiful beach over here, though, right off their backyard. It's this gorgeous, beautiful resort-style community. No, it's boring. He wants to move over here where it's exciting, downtown, where there is a night market and there's a big, kids park right a block away, So we're going to move them in, and when she gets off work, surprise, brand new home from a brand new day. I wonder if someone really did that. I bet their wife would be pissed or husband would be pissed because, no discussion, just did it. Yeah, I just did it. Surprise. Thought it'd be fun, you guys. I don't know. Can that toddler climb stairs? Let's see if he can. Come on, buddy. Left behind. Oh, sorry. Yes, you were. Right on the curb. Oh, you can't get up the stairs, can you? Okay. Can you get up this stairs? Can you go here? Wait a minute. See if he can go there. Is he just waiting for his dad to come and get him? Yeah, his dad's going to come and listen. Well, that's the reason why he feels so left behind. There's Dad on his phone playing some game. Poor little guy. What? He's like, what? What do you want now? What? I'm left here by myself. It's child trafficking going on. I think he can get up those stairs, though. I think he's going to get up that okay. So, he can climb up those. I guess the other stairs, would take forever. Another reason why we could maybe use some, elevators. But since we don't have elevators, I'll go ahead and just teleport him up here and have him check out his room. Now, the cutest thing in the whole wide world right now for me is this. This is his potty, right? This is his like first, it's called like the first chamber pod, or toddler's first chamber pod or something like that. And I thought it was so hilarious because obviously they use squat toilets here in Southeast Asia. They don't really so much anymore. I mean, like in the modern world, they use a lot of the sort of chair style or Western style toilets that we have here in the United States and Western Europe and places like that. But you do still see squat toilets in some older places, older buildings. And so this, I guess, is what you train a little toddler on when you use a squat toilet. You just give him like this little bucket. You give him a little bucket, right? And you're like, here you go. What is wrong? Why can't you? Where is he? I bet Dad isn't here, is he? Where is Dad? Let's have Dad come upstairs. I'll have Dad come upstairs. Where is this chick? She is not happy. I guess she ate something and didn't like it. Yeah, didn't like it. Poorly made food. Now, there's Dad. Let's see if he can ask somebody for some help. Hopefully it isn't put in the wrong area. I haven't play tested that yet. I just have it kind of stuck there by his bed. I could probably put it here in the bathroom as well. So here we go. He is really not. Yeah, he does have to go to the bathroom. And he's hungry. Okay, so let's see how this works. I can't wait to check this out. It's probably going to be all pixelated and stuff, but let's see. Yeah, it is. But there he goes. So you're just going to plop down on that little bowl, plop down on the little bowl, and go about your business. And then, anyway, I thought it was hilarious. I don't know. Now, if it's realistic, if it's in keeping with realism, we should have to empty the bowl and wash the bowl. But I don't know. We're going to see what happens. Dad there, of course, is telling him, yes, this will be great. No more diapers. Not having to take care of your diaper anymore. No more wet your pants. Yes. No more go potty in your pants. You're going to use this toilet. Kind of takes a long time. Let's check on the girl real quick. She is right there. I think I'm going to lock that door too. She's headed off. Where is she going? Talk to people. She's going to go talk to the landlord. Let's see what she has to say. Playing as a landlord is a lot of fun. I have, like I said, been playing with that other build that we came from. It's kind of unfinished. And it has been fun playing as a landlord. It's been really, kind of quirky, kind of humorous like The Sims is sometimes. Okay, so we got the potty skill out of our bucket up there. Let's go see if Dad has to empty the bucket. No, but Dad does have to go to the bathroom too. We'll let him use it. Oh, let's just cancel that. He's done. You're done. There you go. Very good. Did he do anything? Is there anything left behind? No. Is it dirty? Do we need to clean it? No, it doesn't say we need to clean it. I wonder if it does get dirty. Surely it does. Because I'm sure it's just a reskin of the normal toddler kind of potty chair, right? So surely, and there's our squat toilet. If you guys are curious, that's I've used those before, not very often in my life, and not just once was in North Africa, and then once was actually in France. In France, yeah, there was one there in an old building. So. Yeah, I've used them. It's not that big a deal, but I don't know what you do though. If you break your knee or leg or something, I don't know. I mean, there's all sorts of things like that kind of. Let's let everybody in. Let's see here. We'll invite everyone in for this welcome wagon. Check on our daughter. There she is. She's come back home. Oh, you know what I do need? Oh, shoot. First of all, he's starving to death and he's tired. Let's grab a serving. I'm going to need to put in a high chair for him too, now that I think about it, and then let's have him take a nap. I should go in real quick, put in a high chair. And I don't really intend to play them, really. I just kind of came in here to kind of get them moved in. I'm going to actually play Brian. He's kind of my primary sim here. But I do want to play the kids and all. Like, I wanted to try out the toddler, potty bowl. And I want to check out the kid with the sort of kids games, the marbles and the hopscotch, stuff like that. Let's take this green chair. I don't know. I might have to rearrange this dining room a little bit. It's going to be kind of a tight squeeze in here. Well, you know what I'll do is I'll just take one of these chairs out. And we can kind of put it, like right there. And we'll move the chair maybe to the bedroom. Let's move the chair in here. And then if they need extra chairs, they have a friend come over for dinner or something, they can just grab the chair in the bedroom and buy the desk and they're good to go. A lot of the locals are here. This is a local with the pack. This guy, Robert, I've seen him around. She's a local with the pack. Megan. There's our cringe sim, Brian Robbins, the my guy, me guy. And there's our landlord. I think she's the landlord from the ad, the trailer actually. But the place, like her apartment from the trailer, isn't in game. So like her apartment building wasn't in game. The apartment I replaced here, because it was an apartment, was kind of a house. Again, just look like a traditional, maybe 100-year-old, 150-year-old Thai home. And she lived on the second floor, and there were 2 small apartments, or maybe just one even on the first floor. And so I bulldozed it, right? Turned it into this. I'd love to see if he's going to do anything cringy. We'll see. On his own, autonomously. Now, his dad's going to take the baby and put him off to bed, of course, for a nap. He needs a nap, too. Look at that. Look at all that. I mean, he's hangry, but he ate. Did you not eat? He didn't eat. He didn't eat his food. Wonder why he didn't eat his food. And he's tired. Huh. That's got to be his food there. I'm going to just take it right. Oh, quality's poor. Maybe that's why he didn't eat it. I'm going to put his food in here. Let's just drop his food in here on the floor. And maybe when he wakes up, he'll want it. We're going to have her put these marbles in her inventory. I did get some marbles together. And my sim, Brian, was collecting marbles for a while. I don't know. We'll check here in a minute and see if those came with him when he moved. Because I didn't pack up his stuff. It's fine if they didn't. He can buy new ones. And even though this is a small apartment, I mean, I think you can kind of see, there's plenty of room. They seem to be fitting in here all right. Gives it a real kind of sort of cozy feel, right? Let's go and check out Brian. Let's see if he's still here if I go. Oh, sure I can. Let's see here. Where's he going, I wonder? Oh. He's just going to eat that baby's food. Are you, Brian? Or are you going to clean up? Maybe he's cleaning up. No, he's just going to eat the baby's food. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Go in someone else's room, get their food off the floor, eat it yourself. Maybe that's a cringe trait. He doesn't really, cringy Sims are supposed to not really have like some social skills, supposed to be a little awkward like that. I've never known anybody just to randomly go into a kid's room and, get that food off their floor, but that's okay. I can dig it. Let's go into Managed Worlds. Let's pull him up because I'm going to have him go to the night market. We're going to check that out. Night market is kind of fun. I do like it. It's not terribly different than festivals, of course, because it's basically food and shopping, right? But it's got a kind of a cool vibe, and it is something to do, right? Something to do. I haven't done a whole lot of building for this world. I have built, at least with just this alpha pack, come on, let me see here. The thing with the alpha pack, of course, is, there we go. I don't have all my packs, right? I just have the alpha pack and the base game. So anything I build can only be the base game and in this alpha pack. So at the end of the day, let's have Brian go home. That should be his house, right? No, this is his house. It kind of limits what I have to use. It's the words I'm looking for. I do have a lot of builds built for this new world. I've got a build built for that lot. I've got a build built for the lot over here. And really, I think even I got a build I could use for this lot. So I haven't done a lot of builds because I've got them already built in my regular primary save, my primary game. And once I have the retail copy of this and I integrate it into my game, then I will go ahead and start placing builds in this area. I did build, where is it? Oh, I built this little temple back over here. And I guess we could have Brian go over there. We could have him go visit the temple maybe. He could go for a quick swim downstairs. I thought I locked that door, Brian. Didn't I lock it? Didn't I lock it for everyone? Go here. Let me check this out real quick. Let's check all of his motives are all good. Let's look at his resume writing. Oh yes, this is his line of books. This is not based on Harry Potter, you guys. Henry Sculptor is his own original character because he's a literary genius. Completely came up with it all on his own. And this newest book is Henry Sculptor and the Order of Phoenix, or Order of Pheasant. The Order of Pheasant. That's when he orders some pheasant for dinner. And everybody doesn't like it because pheasant's kind of an odd taste. It's kind of an acquired taste. And that's kind of the drama of that story. Anyway, it's a children's book. Everyone's going to love it. I'm sure I'm going to make a fortune, or, Brian here is going to make a fortune. How long does he have to go with that book? Probably too long. The night market opens at 4 o'clock. That's kind of what I'm waiting on. Let's speed this up a little bit. Night market's open from like 4 to, I don't know, 4 to 2, I think. 4 to 2. And there's a fish market over there as well that is open from 4 to midnight. I think it's 4 to midnight. Now, the great thing about this apartment, of course, great thing about this condo is that it's right by the night market, right? So you can just walk right over there, hang out, do your thing. Here we go. Let's follow in here. Slow them down a little bit now that we're getting close. Okay, so the night market is pretty cool. The only drawback, and I think most people probably anticipated this anyway, is, let me see, all of these things are empty. I mean, it's like you have all of these like, sort of like, it's not open till 6. Oh, well, shoot. Closes 2 a.m., open 6 to 2. You have all these different stalls, but they're not manned. So they're not actually open. There's 4 stalls open, 3 for food, 1 for merchandise. Now, I like what's there, but, I think it's kind of too bad that what I would like, and I get that they can't have all those open at once because of spec, spec reasons with the game, what a computer can reasonably handle. that has the, required specifications for this game. But I would love it if all of them were active, but they just rotated. So there's only 4 open per night, but on different nights, different stalls are open. So there's a little bit of variation. That would have been cool. This is the fish market. This is a rabbit hole. I actually don't mind these sort of rabbit holes, for just like grocery shopping or for shopping in general. These actually don't bother me at all. These are kind of like how I shop, right? When I go to shop, I go online, click the stuff I want, and then either have it delivered or just go pick it up through kind of like a drive-through, right? So this is our bait and switch fish market. I do wish there was more stuff here for sale. Now it is a fish market. So, you wouldn't expect more than fish. That is true. But I would love to have one of these as a supermarket, right? Where you could go inside and get like a bunch of stuff, like all the groceries that are available in game. And I kind of wish that they would make those groceries like reasonably priced, not like a single strawberry for like $44 or whatever it is, but a little more reasonably priced than that. Now, that's one of his cringe moves there. I love that move. Look how happy he was too. I don't know if you can see his face, when he did his little dance there. And he's doing his little Blake Block dance, he's super cool. He's like happy, he's got this little sort of like happy look on his face. He's just kind of calm and peaceful. He's digging it. He's digging himself. He's like who he is. Does not have to pretend to be anyone else. Now, okay, here's the person that runs this market, right? They're showing up here. So even though it's a little before 6, it's like 5:40. It does look like these places are open. So we're going to go over here. We're going to try to haggle our way into a little bit cheaper dinner, right? Will he go? Maybe is he going to wait till 6? It's okay. She's open. I didn't make her open, you guys. I did not make her open, right? I know your hours are 6, but since you're here, of course, by the time he gets there, there we go. By the time he gets there, here we go. Now I'm going to tell you something. She's going to give us 25% off. Hooray! We love her. Now we're going to eat here every day. I think I just picked the sort of, let's get some Halo, right? Very traditional. So we're going to grab this. And then we're going to come over here and sit down and eat. And here, this is the craziest thing. So like I saw these and I thought, oh, right. They made this kind of like, they made this where our Sims can sit and eat at these stalls. I was so excited. I'm still excited about it. And someone on Twitter, a guy named Brandon on Twitter, I can't remember his exact Twitter handle, something like I am Brandon or something like that. Because I want to give him credit. So he tells me, he's like, no, they've had that since 2016, I guess in City Living. Since City Living, you could go up to any of these stalls and just add bar stools, and then your Sim would sit there and eat. And yes, I did test that out. I went and tested some of the stalls. And so I thought this was brand new, right? And I'm just like, finally, Max has put like a stool here and was like, hey, you guys, you could do this, I guess, right? And I love that. I love the fact that, because it's just kind of really realistic to have that. I'm going to go over here to this merchandise store. It's really realistic to kind of sit there and eat, one of those sort of stalls, have a little counter you can kind of stand at, or in this case, sit at a stool, maybe eat something. This is the sort of stuff you can buy here at this stall. This is the merchandise stall. So it has some flour, sugar, potatoes, has a few odd things like that. This is the vegan, not oil lantern, right? Totally dig it. I do love this lantern. This isn't the only place you can get it. You can get it in build mode with a cheat. But if you don't want to go with a cheat, you can buy one here, and I'm going to. And then you can get these marbles here, right? Like I love the marbles. There's, I don't know how many you can collect, 12 or 14 or something. Now, I bought this basket. Okay, I had this basket in my other apartment. I bought that basket, and I don't know what. I thought something was actually really going to be in the basket. I really did. I thought the basket was going to do something, and I kind of thought, if you want to have a rabbit hole adventure, why don't you have a rabbit hole basket adventure, right? Where you click on the basket and maybe you could see like some little glowing eyes in there and then you get bit or something, right? I don't know. But I did buy it thinking there was going to be something in there. It's hungry and needs to feed, right? So wouldn't you think there's something in there? But I don't know. I never could figure out anything with it. I'm going to go and get it again. Let's buy it again and let's buy a potato to put in there and see what happens. So we've got those things. And then I did not buy a jar for my marbles before. I just put them on my desk. We're going to do that again. So we're going to grab that marble too. So we spent about $164 here. Now, again, this doesn't bother me too much, just sort of setup, because this is kind of rabbit hole-ish too, right? Where you go in and you click on it and you kind of fill out your shopping list. This sort of thing doesn't bother me. I do kind of actually like it. I think it's kind of cool. We're going to get some stuff here. He's bought some clothes before. He bought this shirt at this stand as well. So sometimes you can buy clothes here. Now, one thing I wish you could buy this, right? Wish you could buy this here and this stuff here and this stuff. I wish all this sort of stuff we could also buy there. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Let's go pray about it. We're going to go over to the temple. He does like fitness. We're going to go over that's why I moved him to an apartment with a gymnasium, right? With free gym is included in your condominium fee, your monthly maintenance fee. Let's have him kind of head on over here towards our temple zone. Now, the city is really, really pretty. The world is really, really pretty. I have kind of a theory, and it is based on absolutely nothing. So do not take this as any sort of fact at all. But I have a theory that this pack was originally going to be a resort pack because the town feels like a resort town. And especially over in the other area where I moved him from, that actually just feels like a resort, right? It feels totally like a resort. I love this too. That's the lanterns going up. Isn't that great? I love that. That's actually one of my favorite things. It's the simple stuff with me, but I really do love that. That is so cool. I love it. We're going to send him over here to the temple. Now, I'm going to try to. I built this temple. This is the one I built. There is a rabbit hole temple. How do I get him here? Why am I having trouble with this? I don't know. Let's have him go here. There's got to be some way of going here. I guess I could go through the world screen, or I could just go through the travel screen. We'll do that. We'll have him travel. Here we go. I went ahead and built a temple because the rabbit hole temple, I felt like there was nothing to do. There really isn't. This is the rabbit hole temple back here. It's a really beautiful building. We'll look at it here in a second. But it doesn't do anything. You just click on it and your sim disappears and then your sim reappears and they're inspired or something like that. So I thought, well, we do have a really nice kind of altar in game. It looks really cool. Let's kind of make our own kind of, sort of temple that we can actually go into and kind of see our sim kind of going about his devotions here. So I built this. I built this little temple here. We're going to have him come in here and leave some fruit, which I love this. I'm not sure. I'm not a real religious person. I don't know a lot of necessarily about different religions. So I'm not sure if this is a Buddhist sort of trait. But I know that there was a restaurant in my town. They did this when they were opening, and they set up a little altar just like this, and they put fruit and incense there, right, to bring good fortune and good luck and all to the new restaurant. It was a really good restaurant, by the way, so it worked. And so I do love this in game, and I'm glad that it's still in game and hasn't for some reason been taken out yet. But it's really cool. I love it. It's very, very cool. So it's a simple interaction. There's not much we can do with the sort of altar here, but at least we can do that. And we can kind of hang out, talk to people up at some benches, it's like a park, right? I might put some chess tables here. I had this idea. The musical Chess, right, is set in Bangkok. And so I had this sort of idea of every lot I built, I was going to include a chess table and chairs somewhere as kind of a nod to that particular musical. And so I think I will. And, I also need to put in a gate over here on this side because I did not put a gate on that side. I did put a gate on this side. So let's do that real quick too. We'll go in here and we will turn on the sun real quick. And I'm going to grab a chunk of fence. And we'll draw it across here. And we'll grab our gate. Love those gates. They are super cool. They look really, really good. I do love a lot of the assets in this game, although I wanted to see some more modern stuff, right? I really like modern builds a lot. I like traditional too, but I did want to see some sort of Asian modern. The assets are really great. You can do some really great builds. You can do some really great looks. I think people are going to love them, and I think that they pretty much integrate pretty well with a lot of different looks and a lot of different builds. We're going to put that there, and then let's go ahead and grab our chess set. I guess we'll just put it here on one side of this building, and I'm going to add one to the apartment complex too. We'll put one in the apartment complex as well. Let's see. Let's do white. Got kind of a white theme going here with this stuff. Let's grab a chair for it. I don't think the chair I normally use is in the base game or this new pack, obviously. I guess we could use this. We could use this chair maybe in white. Let's see what it looks like. It's not bad, right? And it does kind of match some of this sort of carved nature of the rest of this stuff. So let's do that. We'll put those chairs there. And then you've kind of got chess set lined up. This lot is actually set as a national park is what it's set as. And I went in and just shoved the grill and the picnic table down in the basement, right? So that it would read as a proper national park. So we'll go over here. He's going to ponder his chess moves a little bit. And we'll get ready and we'll send him home. It's getting late. I always play with the MC Command Center mod. He needs to go to the bathroom too. I probably should have made a bathroom here, but I think there's a public restroom actually nearby. But instead, I think I'll just send him home. I usually play with MC Command Center. So I have the time there stretched out so the day is longer for The Sims than Maxis has it set. So it always surprises me when we have an alpha copy like this, we're not supposed to use any mods or any custom content, right? We can use build sheets like the in-game build sheets, but we can't use mods or custom content. So I'm always surprised when the day goes so quick. And I'm like, God, I'm already out of time. And that's the reason why. But let's speed him up a little bit. We're heading. Oh, there we go. We're home. Now, building apartments, the whole rental mechanism is definitely the cake of this pack. As I said, hold on real quick here. Let me pause him. I kind of forgot. We're going to go over and we'll take a quick look at that temple rabbit hole because it's back over here that I was talking about. So it looks beautiful, right? I mean, it's beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful backdrop. If you want to do storytelling, also this is in debug, so you can pull it out and put it anywhere that you want to put it. If I wanted to rebuild it over here and yet try to do something smaller than this in front of that as kind of an antechamber, and you go in there and you do your devotions, right? But this is behind it, so the whole structure looks bigger and grander. Definitely, you could do something like that. But that is our rabbit hole, and it looks really good, but it just doesn't do much, you guys. It just doesn't do much. But it's a pretty building, so use your imagination there with the debug menu, and see what you can come up with for using it in the future. I'm going to get him upstairs to his apartment and let him use the bathroom, right? And actually, I don't see his bathroom here. Where is his bathroom? I've got that one. But somehow, maybe I'm sure that finished that apartment. I wonder if that's a glitch. Might be a little bit of a glitch. Let me go in here into build mode. Oh, you know what? I wonder. Okay, so I didn't include that. Okay, so here's the problem. You know, when I was setting these up as apartments at the start of this stream, and I went through and I'm like, click, 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 the different parts of his apartment. I forgot this bathroom. I forgot to add that to his apartment. So he does have a bathroom over here. But right now, the other bathroom is reading as belonging to apartment number 1. So I'm going to have to go back to the landlord here in a minute and have them reset that as part of this particular apartment. And you know, that's not too big of a deal. It does take a little bit of getting used to, you know, what you need to do to kind of do these, but it's not hard. I mean, it really is pretty easy. Let's resume our book here. Really is pretty easy, and you just build like you normally build. Another thing I need to do real quick is, though, speaking of build, we need to take out these shelves. I decided to put windows in there. So we're not going to use the shelves back there any longer. And if we want to switch over to the landlord's apartment, it's pretty easy. You can just go to their door, say switch control to this household. This is a new sort of feature. This is going to be a base game feature to make it easier to switch among lots even when you're in the neighborhood. So you don't have to go into the world screen. You can just kind of click on their door or their lot, I guess. In this case, on the door, and then switch to that household. Now, there's still a loading screen. There's always going to be a loading, well, maybe not always. I'm going to call it that there's always going to be a loading screen. But it does make it a little bit easier, a little bit more convenient. Skip a couple of steps there. Now that we are in here, go back into build mode. Go up a level. Yeah, see, there it is. It shows us her apartment. So we will go to here, click on it, and then we're going to switch it over to apartment. The unit is occupied. No. Oh, come on. The unit is occupied. Please move tenants out to add rooms to this unit. But let me see. Let me think for a second. It is, but it's the landlord's unit, right? Yeah, I mean, doesn't our landlord live here? This is your current household's home unit. So, do they not own it? Do they just rent here too? That could be the case. Let me try something different. We're going to go to Manage Worlds. I'm going to try going in through the Manage World screen and see if we can do it that way, kind of circumvent it, you know? Let's see. We'll go here, go into build mode. And I can put in the cheat. You know, enable free build, and we'll see if that does it. Because I can't evict the owner, right? Can I do that? Okay, so I could do that. I could take out and add it to Brian's unit in that fashion. And then just kind of rebuild the bathroom. Okay, so that's an option, right? Right. Now let's try... Let's try enable free build. Free build mode is enabled. No, they were too smart. They got around. They got around that one. So all we can really do, from what I can see, would be to just kind of, I mean, I can see this stuff, so I can take the stuff out, right? Just pull the stuff out. Like so. Even the light, for that matter. So we'll pull all that stuff out. And then just go ahead and like, let's take the door too. Let's just take it all. Take it all. Take the door too. And then we'll just pull this like this. Right? Okay. And then kind of get a color back on the outside. And Okay, now hopefully this is gonna, I think this will work. I think it'll work. We're gonna find out. No, for future reference, right? Because I really don't want to try to evict the landlord. I'm not even sure she's the landlord now. Maybe I just have her in there as a renter. Thought she was the landlord, right? Thought so. Thought she bought it. Whoops. Do this here. Is there anything else I need to move back in there? I don't think so. Oh, the light. The light in there. And let's grab this Pure Expressions wall paint. Okay, so all in all, I mean, it seems like a pretty, easy fix to me. It really wasn't that big a deal just to move that wall. A lot easier than evicting someone and then moving them back in. So that does work just fine. We have this. Yeah, let's Okay, so now will be the test. We'll see if this will, in fact, actually work. Hold on here. I didn't really intend to do a whole lot of building, so I don't have my cheats plugged in here. There we go. But while we're here, let's go ahead and grab light here for over that door and maybe over this painting. Brighten the place up a little bit. And then this will be the big test when we go back into the world screen and we go to Brian's apartment and we select Brian. Does he have a toilet? Does he have 2 bathrooms again, right? So he have 2 bathrooms there, a guest toilet and his own ensuite bath in his apartment. I hope so. Fingers crossed. Oh, hey, Cinderella. I probably missed that. I haven't been watching chat very well. I've been kind of caught up in this moment. If you're still here, thank you for stopping by. And Brianna, what are some of the moodlets? I don't believe there are any. I don't think there's any new moodlets. I think you'll get certain moodlets, like say this one here from the incense, soothing smell, right? But you're still just happy. So you have that, but it's, kind of, let me pause this so he doesn't lose those when I'm talking about them. You have that, it gives you a boost to happiness, boost playful, soothing smell. There's also stuff like this. This is connected roots because he is, like a child of the village is one of his traits, right? And he has been engaging with Tomarani culture by going and doing the altar, right? Doing his devotions at the altar, going to the night market, stuff like that. And I don't know what this one is. Oh, Blick Block dance. That's from being cringy, right? But he loves the Blick Block dance, cringe or not. He doesn't care that it's old. Does fun ever have an expiration date? I think not. I mean, if you have fun doing a dance, is that really going to expire? No, not really. So I'm with Brian on that one. That he's killing it. He's killing it. He's been doing this dance for 10 years. Naturally, he's killing it. Oh yes, the ones at the bottom. Well, that's what we're going through then. Yes, the ones here at the bottom is most of these are fairly due to the pack, right? 3 of them are. So soothing smell, connected. Well, we have had incense since Spa Day. Is that from Spa Day? Maybe. I don't use incense much in game, but I feel like, I remember we have it with Spa Day. So that could be from Spa Day. This for sure is from the new pack. And this for sure is from the new pack. The cringe trait is my favorite. It is. The other traits, gosh, I can't even really remember. Well, we have like, what I do like is, God, I'd have to go into cast to remember, because I'm thinking more of aspirations. Like I love the landlord aspiration to have a 5-star property. That's right up my alley. That's something to improve a property and build it over time. My current landlord has that aspiration. And it's kind of like, this is his aspiration, of course, font of Tomarani knowledge, because he wants to really he's a transplant. He's an American expatriate, right? Living here in Tomarani. And he wants to really get to know this whole place. He wants to be like a local. He wants to fit in with people, which, because he's kind of cringy. He's looking for his group. He's looking for where he's going to fit in life. He kind of gets that people aren't always laughing with him. They're laughing at him sometimes. And he doesn't know why, right? He can't figure out why, because he just thinks he's just having a good time. And so he's kind of searching. He's searching around the world for his kind of roots. So he wants to be a font of Tomarani knowledge, right? And I've been working on that. I kind of got to remember every so often to have him do a few of these sort of things. I don't do aspirations very much. It's just something I kind of select. And then over time, if they get it, great. But in this case, I have been kind of working with them. It's been fun. The other traits, golly, let's see here. You know what? This particular building that we're in right now does have 4 stars. It's really nice, though. The only thing it would have 5 stars, I think, if I send the landlord around to do inspections and stuff like that. Then that gives you a boost. And I think that's the only way you're going to hit a 5-star rating. So I don't know if you can hit a 5-star rating without playing the landlord. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. But I know that the way this place is designed and the features I included with it, it is a 4-star rating. So, not too bad. Not too bad. The pressure cooker is super cool. I do love that. I've had him use it a lot. And I need tips. I don't know if I have that many tips so far. It has been, what would be a good tip? Well, just when you're a landlord, expect to starve to death. That would be the first thing. My poor landlord has been starving. Like literally, she was down to $0. Maybe I overbuilt. So I tried to start with $20,000 and build these apartments, and then she's just going to, improve them over time. But maybe I overbuilt. But when I got done with the apartment, she had about $880 left. That sounds like a lot, right? It does. Somehow, I don't know what happened. I really don't know. Oh, I didn't include this balcony as apartment either. I don't know what happened. Somehow she got down literally to $0. So all she could eat was like the free food in her fridge. And she's the landlord, right? No, so this is my gameplay videos, but I'm like, I didn't become a landlord to work. Okay, I became a landlord so I could kick back and just skim money off people like a capitalist, right? Well, capitalism bit her right in the ass. She nearly starved to death. So I don't know what my tip there is. It's tougher to be a landlord than you think if you're going to start from scratch. That's my tip. Brian went to bed, it looks like here. I laugh with him all the time too. I actually think he is I think he's a cool sim. He's usually pretty happy. He's usually pretty upbeat. And when I saw the commercial, and he did his little dance and stuff like that, I just thought he was a fun-loving guy, right? He just does not care what people think. He's just doing his own deal. So I'm good with him. And Brianna, I agree. The pack is really good. I think that people are going to like it. It is. I think it's a really. It adds a lot to the game. It feels in a lot of ways almost like a builder's expansion pack because there's so much that involves building. But I think once people really get into designing their own multifamily residences or picking out their own multifamily residences from the gallery or something like that, there's a lot of generational gameplay possibilities here. And there's a whole lot, I think, of challenge possibilities with multifamily housing. So I think people are really going to like the pack. And the assets for it are super cool. The assets for it are really, really cool. Let's have Brian here get on with his day. We'll speed him up here. Maybe I'll have him cook another cuisine. He eats out a lot, so he learns a lot of local recipes. I don't know if we have anything for breakfast in here. I guess we could just do steamed rice for breakfast, or we haven't made this yet. It's kind of expensive. Oh, it's mango sticky rice. Oh, yeah, we can have that for breakfast. We're going to do that. I love mango sticky rice in real life. It's one of my favorite things. Basically, I could go to a Thai restaurant and that's it. I'm going to just order that for appetizer, entree, and dessert, and a side of it to go to take home with me for later in the night. I do love mango sticky rice. I hadn't noticed. I mean, I saw the Thai name for it in there. I hadn't actually read the description. That's probably going to be my favorite food in pack. So he's going to make that, and then we should get another Tomorani cuisine thing like pop up for us. The pressure cooker is really cool. The animations on it, I think, are pretty cool. It's going to have like a little steam thing that goes on with it. You have to kind of release the steam, which did take me a moment to figure out because I'd put some stuff to cook in there, and then like I couldn't figure out why it was never done, and I didn't realize here in a little bit, see, you'll have to, when it's done, you have to go release the steam and then you can eat, right? And I have a pressure cooker like this in real life, kind of an Instapot, we call them here in the United States. They might call them that in Western Europe and places too, I don't know. But I have one of those, but I just didn't expect it to do the same thing in the game as it does in real life. But they did add that in, which I think is a really cool detail. I really, really like it. And it takes it a little while. We're just going to wait here and wait for it to get done. The other thing I love are these little refrigerators. It's a little kind of, and especially like the glass door on it is so cool. I love the little, let me get in here. I love the little sort of dishwashers here too. There's little smaller scale dishwashers. All of this, I mean, these things are really very much in keeping with Thai culture, I would say, like Southeast Asian culture. There he goes. He's releasing the steam. He's going to get his food out. He's going to go eat. And it's just great to have them in game. These are great for any city apartments, like New York, Los Angeles, any place. You're going to find like little dishwashers like this, little refrigerators like this. And the glass door on it just gives it a really great kind of modern, hip sort of feel. Kind of needs to clean up here. Maybe if we have him clean up after he eats, he'll use the dishwasher. Let's have him see here. Now he keeps going through these doors. I have play tested this apartment. This must read as easier routing for him, right? technically there's nothing in the way like this is, but he will go past that. After he eats, we will have him clean this up as well. I swear if he takes it to the bathroom, yes, okay, stop. Let's see here. Now, we can set sink types now. This is a bathroom sink, Brian. I keep forgetting I've not set any of my sinks yet. And I believe this is going to be a base game update as well. They don't want people to riot. So you can set this now. Let's see if it works. We're going to set it as a bathroom sink. We're going to set this as the kitchen sink, right? Because I'm trying to get him to go into the kitchen. Here you go. No, come on. Don't do this to me. Come on. There we go. Now clean it up. I should have turned off autonomy. A lot of times I turn off autonomy so they have to do what I tell them to do. Here we go. Now. All right. See, there we go. He will go through there. It does work. Routing wise, it does work. You can put it there in the dishwasher and it's good to go. I don't know why they go, like I said, only thing I can imagine is this is just a more open space and it's not far enough away from this to keep them from taking that alternate route. And it does work. Yes, they finally added the ability to assign sinks. It eventually they'll get around to it. Now let's see here. Yeah, is that a mortar? It is a mortar and pestle. Now I don't think it works. I haven't tried that yet. Let me see if I can find it here. It is a placeable object, so I placed it there. Yeah, it doesn't have any interactions, which I would love. I would love that. Maybe if a modder somehow comes along and kind of mods it, because it would be great to grind up seasonings and pepper and stuff like that in it. But I went ahead and set it there like that's what he uses it for. And then, he puts it in the Instapot. It's a super cool thing. Another place where mortise and pestle would be really cool in decor is any realm of magic type of decor, right? It's going to fit in really well in those sort of scenes, medieval scenes, sort of dungeon scenes, castle scenes, any sort of scenes of antiquity. We're going to take him off of the shower rotation there. And let's see, what does he got going here? Oh, yeah, see, since he likes, Tomorani and he's a child of the village, he does like to kind of be like social. So I guess we could go downstairs. Let's go down here. No, not visit the unit. Let's go down here and see if, oh shoot, let me try going here. We can, we'll go downstairs, maybe do a little swimming. And I need to check my sort of like setup of my apartments, make sure I set them up properly. Here's someone to talk to though. This guy is from his other apartment. This is from where he used to live. Let's come down here and talk to him for a little bit. And we'll become best. We'll brighten his day. Oh yeah, they're also like I guess boyfriends as well. And this guy is married. So, it's a Sims. That's what happens. It's what happens. And it was all this guy's fault. It was all this guy's fault because, he hit on Brian first. So he came over here to do a little swimming though. They don't have a pool at his apartment complex. He's got in fact, let me show you real quick. Let's go over there. This is a tip. This is a tip if you want to try to add in another apartment and you really don't have very much money. This is a tip that I did, and this did work. This did work as an apartment. Let's see here. Let me go. His wife's at home. We'll go check out his wife here. And she's got a baby. And her husband's cheating on her. And to make matters worse, the housing market in Tomarang is very tight right now. It's very tight. So this is their apartment. It's out here in the parking lot. I had to set their apartment in the parking lot to make extra money for my landlord, who was starving to death. She was starving to death. She had $0. So I sold off a bunch of walls. There used to be columns here, right? Used to be columns in all these different areas. Sold off some walls. I think I sold a door to maybe a window, and I put in another apartment. And the great thing about this apartment is, yes, it does work, and yes, you can rent it out as an apartment. But you've got, well, before this night market got here, you had this really great view, right? You had this really great view of the beach and the water. Now, I did kind of forget and put a night market here, but when they first moved in, it was a lot nicer. And this is a totally functional apartment. And this was actually our most expensive apartment for a while because I don't know why. Maybe because it was the biggest. Because I think it had like all of this space. So since it was the biggest apartment, it was like it was our most expensive apartment for a while. So, that is a tip. If you need to, I think I did give it the bracing breezes trait because it's outdoors, right? You got plenty of airflow, plenty of net. I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, and it is covered. See, it's covered. If it rains, you are not going to get wet. This is the tropics. It's the tropics. It doesn't get cold here. It's not going to snow. And it just felt like it worked. Now, you do have to go potty on a squat toilet, no less, out in public. But maybe you just watch and wait for it to be clear and then run over here real quick and use it, right? Run real quick, use it. And the shower, be a child of nature. Be a child of nature and let the world see. That's all I can say. That's all. It's the only advice I got. They rented it. I didn't make them. Rent it. They chose to. I had actually originally planned to put walls, around 3 sides here and around here too, but I couldn't afford it. I couldn't. So I had to just give up and just go with it. But it is just take notes. Definitely take notes because it is that is my biggest tip. And I didn't do it, but I almost went and just made another one here as well. But I wanted to put like a little night market out here, which is not really set up yet. I just grabbed a bunch of pieces I'm going to use for it. And truth be told, I mean, actually, I have really, I started with nothing, but I've built this out fully in my primary game. And this, I'm just having her rebuild it as she makes money. But, she's done okay. But I'm going to say this. She did have to become a painter to keep from starving to death. She had to. I finally had to break down and sell again, I think, some more chunks of her apartment, some more walls and stuff, so I could buy the cheapest easel so that I could paint something so she could eat. I had to do it. It was either that or just, I don't know what else I could have done. Steal something, maybe? I don't know. I was at a loss. Still a beautiful area, though. But anyway, that is a tip. That's what I thought of, was that you've got that tip there. And she's upgraded a few things. She put some flooring in here, put in a little plant, nice altar. We'll go back over to Brian. That is her trials and tribulation. My poor landlord, her name's Tia. Her trials and tribulations with this place have been unending. She, like I said, that's all in video, but it definitely has been unending. She has had them. They had a nerve. The people who live there. Her tenants had like a revolt, and I'm like, you haven't even paid rent yet. Okay, you haven't paid any rent, and you're revolting. And I don't know why you're revolting. They chose to move there. I don't know how you move in. You can tell it's a shithole, right? There's no wall coverings. There's no floor coverings. And your furnishing consists of the absolute cheapest stuff I could buy and the Gordian cot. The Gordian cot, that's your bed. So why are you going to come and protest that I didn't give you more after you moved in? You're lucky I didn't take away what you already had. I probably should have. I needed to sell some of that stuff to buy an easel, and instead I sold my own walls in my own house. And you know what happened, I think, too? This is part of why she lost so much money. She had a fire. That's part of it. I did have to replace the stove, and I don't know if I replaced the cabinet. I don't know if I could afford it. But that's where part of her money went, was I did have to replace the stove. So, Do, do, do. Oh, that is a good idea. Yes, I forgot about that. Photos are a great idea and it's cheap. You don't have to buy anything. You've already got your phone. And there was something else that if you're a tenant, right? If you're a tenant and one of your things breaks, like say your computer breaks or something like that, something you don't normally think of as as a feature of the apartment. If it breaks, switch over and start playing the landlord of the building and have the landlord come over to do an inspection, and they'll go through and repair everything, including your computer. So then you don't have to pay to repair it, and you don't have to risk electrocuting yourself, which happened once to Brian already. He did die once already. He tried to fix his own computer and electrocuted himself and died. So I naturally had to roll back, the save. But you can have your landlord come over and they'll fix anything in the apartment. Now, I will say, even though in America that's not typically something we would do or expect our landlord to handle, in a lot of the Thai apartments I looked at, when I was kind of researching this sort of stuff, a lot of them came furnished, like with a TV and everything. So I can definitely see how that sort of concept does kind of tie into at least to that culture, right? Now, there were some people on YouTube that were doing tours a little bit more outside of the major cities. They said, you get out into the rural areas, not as much furnishings are included, if any. Sometimes they're completely unfurnished. But in Bangkok, yeah, normally you're going to move in, you're good to go, right? The washing machine's there, appliances are all there. Sometimes even dishes. It's almost like we would expect a timeshare condominium to be set up as, but this is a real apartment that you move into. So in that case, if your TV broke down, yeah, you would contact your landlord, be like, hey, the TV in the unit's broke, come and fix it. So that does kind of fit in. It is a good way to save money, rather than calling a repairman. So that's a little tip. I have not tried that. I have done the challenge like the rags to riches where you start with zero money in the park, right? And so you live in a park. Well, I guess you have to own a lot someplace, but you have an empty lot and you live in the park and, just hope that someone comes along and cooks some food, stuff like that. That's always fun. I do think that's a lot of fun to do that sort of challenge. And that's why I have had fun so far playing the landlord, which is $20,000. And can you build an apartment complex and end up getting rich? So far, she is not rich. I think she's made more money painting, of course, than actually as a landlord. And one of the things that this is another tip and something to keep in mind. Okay, so you're thinking, I'm going to build a really cheap apartment. I'm going to barely finish it out. And I'm going to rent it. I'm going to rent it for a ton of money. I'm going to really stick it to people. I'm going to make all this money. No, you're not. Because, if you have this really cheap apartment, it ends up where the game kind of sets a max rental that you can charge for the apartment. And then like the Sims, it'll put forth to inhabit your apartment. Usually they won't pay very much. Okay. Now here's the crux. So you think, okay, the max rental on this place is $50 or $51. Let's say $51. And my Sim here that wants to rent it, they'll only pay $31. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll rent it for $31 and at least I'm making $31. No, you're not. You're not making $31 because there's like an automatic tax on every unit that you own of $50, right? I don't know if it goes up as the units get more expensive. I don't think it does. But you have this tax of $50. So if you're paying $50 in tax on the unit and you're renting it for $31, and that's per day, then what are you doing? You're losing $19 a day. And if you charge $51 for it and the tax is $50, what are you doing? You're making $1 per day. So what can I say? Yes, the tax got me. The tax got me. I was like, wait a minute. How can I be making so little money? I should be making like because it was only like $65 or something, but I'm thinking I should be making $65 a day. It should be several hundred here. But by the time my bills are this and I'm looking, wait, tax, how much is the tax? So yeah, the tax, really eats you alive. And you've got to pay tax on your unit too. So you've got your unit's taxes, you've got your unit's bills, and then you've got the taxes on all the other units. So keep that in mind. Build something that you can at least charge $60 for, so you can make $10 a day, right? If you're going to try to go cheap, do that. Now I did try to do a massive, like 96 units on a 20 by 15 lot, right? On this lot, actually. So I put 96 apartment units because there's a cheat you can put in, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but on that video, I put it in there, but I put 96 units in. Now, I'll go ahead and spoil the video. You don't have to watch it this way. I think the max you can do unit-wise is 25 plus your unit, 26 total. I think there must only be 25 save slots on a lot, because even though I had 96 apartments, I could not designate more than 25 apartments on a lot. And you can only have 100 apartment units in the whole game period per save. But yeah, I couldn't designate more than 25 of them as actual apartments. So the rest of them were all just part of one apartment unit, right? Now, the clincher was, of course, too, I made them super cheap, and I could only rent them for like $36 or even less. Like one guy I rented two for $11, and I thought, well, screw it. I'll just cheat some money because I want to see how this works. I want to see if it will work. Now, long story short, it worked. The game basically still just focused on the maximum number of Sims you can have on a lot at a time and your current household living there. So it did work to have that many apartments. And if you could do, say, 25 nice apartments on a lot, you probably could make a lot of money that way. But I don't think you'll ever be able to get above 25 save slots and then your own apartment. At least I haven't figured out a way yet. Is there a way? I don't know. I haven't figured it out so far. And I kind of quit. I had other stuff I needed to do. I do work for a living. And I thought, well, I'll come back to it and I'll do another video on it, and then I'll kind of edit them all together into one cohesive form. But yeah, I tried everything to add more than 25 additional units. Couldn't do it. So after I did the tax thing, after I saw the tax thing, I did decide that with my landlady who's building the apartment complex. The next apartment I had her build, I thought, okay, let's take as much money as we can. And instead of building like, say, 3 cheaper apartments, let's try building one really nice one and then see how that works. Now, I haven't gotten to that point to see how it works yet because I haven't even finished really outfitting that apartment. But I do think if I could go back and start over, that's what I might do. Just one apartment done a lot nicer, and then, kind of build from there. But what can I say? It was a whole lot more fun putting a family out in the parking lot. Okay. It was a whole lot more fun putting like a guy that cheats on his wife and his pregnant wife, her pregnant self, into the parking lot as an apartment. And I felt like that was a real city. I felt like that was real. I felt like that was a whole lot realer, as a real city place, because that's what happens. You're going to show up in Los Angeles or New York and you're going to try to live your dream. And, maybe you were going to be an actress once you give birth to this baby, and you find out your husband's cheating on you. And the best you could afford was a couple of slots in a parking garage. And you're just glad that you are out of the rain, right? You're just glad you're out of the rain. So I thought that was more realistic. And if you do nice apartments, you can't have that. You just can't have that. So, what can I say? That was the fun part, was seeing if they would actually live in a parking lot. And then they did. I loved it. And I really do love realism. A lot of the apartments I've built for this game, that I've built in my actual primary save, are a lot more street scenes. It's a lot more realistic, a lot more realism. I was saying, and I don't know how you feel about this, Cinderella Mouse, but to me, this world, again, I have nothing to base this on. This is just theory, and it came to me in a dream, right? But it feels almost like this could have maybe originally been intended as a resort, maybe a resort expansion pack, and maybe they reached a point, where resources, run out, and it's like, okay, well, let's do it as this type of pack because the world feels very much like a resort world. It's nice and it's beautiful. It's drop dead gorgeous, but it feels a lot more like a resort community than an actual sort of Southeast Asian urban area, of course, or Southeast Asian area. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that because there are resort communities all over the world, including Southeast Asia. So it is real from that standpoint. It does fit that. And when I was going through the more residential side over there where the landlady is with her apartment, that whole area, I was going through it and I thought, this reminds me of Disney World, like a resort at Disney World, because it was so gorgeous, and it was so perfect and it looked so beautiful. And it really did feel kind of like, if you wanted to, you could go in and kind of turn that zone into kind of a resort area and say, okay, here's maybe this area for this type of function for this resort. And these almost can work like resort buildings to a certain extent because you can set your leasing period anywhere from a day to 999 days. So if you want to set a lease period for your place for a day, all of your rentals are a day or all your rentals are a week. Week's pretty common, for condominium vacation rentals. You can do that. So, I mean, I feel like it's got a lot of possibilities as far as that goes to see maybe what people come up with trying to design this as a resort world, right? As a resort community. Now, all my stuff looks like, a dystopia. All my stuff looks like dystopia, not all of it. I've got a really nice apartment to put back over here and a really nice apartment to put out over here. Kind of like this one, but most of my stuff looks like dystopia, and that's fine too, and I do like it. But I really would like to see someone kind of take it on as a resort, see what they come up with. It's okay. Actually, I'm getting ready to go too. Thanks for being here, Cinderella Mouse. I'm going to have to go myself. I have a party to go to this afternoon. It is Christmas time here in the United States and over most of the world. And I got a Christmas party to go to. Sounds like states realism. Yeah, indeed. So I am going to let Brian, is he still, I hope he's working on his book. He's not, is he? He's probably playing a video game. He's chatting. He's social. He's checking out some people on. Oh, he's nearly done though. I should have him make another recipe real quick. That's what I want to do. I'm going to have him make another recipe real quick. It's real quick here. Where is, oh yeah. That's the other thing I forgot about the pressure cooker. You've got to move the servings to the refrigerator or they stay in there. So you can kind of leave them in there. I don't know. I hope they're not spoiled. Because I forgot that as well. And I think they can spoil. But let me see. How much time does he have left? 2 hours. Let's have him put them in the fridge. And then I'm going to have him cook something real quick. And then I'm going to sign off and go to this afternoon cocktail party. What can he do next? I did the samosa soup. Thought that was pretty cool. Let's try this stuff. Actually, what is that I just made? Though, what's it say here? Rice, coconut milk. Yeah, that sounds good. I think that sounds really good. So we're going to go with that. Have him kind of get some stuff chopped up here. Thank you. I hope to have a good time. Thanks for being here. You guys really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm going to let Brian finish his food here and finish off his first little steps here. There we go. And we've got our next set, collect unique tassels. Oh, he's already got a couple. Nice. Maybe I had a different person explore the cave, but I'll have him explore the cave, tiger sanctuary, and view the statue of the tiger. The Tiger Sanctuary is really cool in that that's where you can buy or get the little tiger stuffed animal. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. So I'm going to go there and get that stuffed animal. That'll be next time, of course. In the meantime, please hit like, subscribe, and notify if you are watching right now or if you're watching this on archive later. We will continue Brian's story and watch for videos. My landlord over there, Tia, she has a lot of adventures coming up too. It's not easy being a capitalist, landlord, you guys. It's not easy, obviously, because she is having all sorts of adventures. But until then, until our next adventure, as always, thank you for watching.